Hello and welcome to Quocirca Quick Takes, where we'll be providing you with some insight into recent market developments and events in the print industry. Today I'm joined by Helen Hopper, who attended the recent MyQ partner event, and we'll be sharing some key takeaways from that event. Just to set some context, what we're seeing really in the cloud print market is that it's a very busy market, lots of different players, and we've profiled MyQ for many years now in our reports, viewing them as a leader and innovator in this space. I think, in fact, in the past few years, we've really seen them grow to this global presence through their platforms, which are MyQX and MyQ Roger. So I know they had some very interesting announcements at the event in Prague last week. So Helen, over to you, and you can maybe share some key takeaways from the event.
Certainly. So it was certainly a well-attended event with several hundred partners from across the world heading to beautiful Prague to make the most of what MyQ could show them. There were lots of product specialists on hand to offer demos and really let people dive in with as much detail as they wanted to some of the new features on offer. There was also a chance to see the new MyQ offices, a very impressive building in the business district of Prague. It's always a good sign when you've got your name in lights on the building, and I think the whole team's settling in really well and seem to be enjoying the new space, which is well designed with lots of different devices to look at, so you could almost see every device they support in action with the solution on board. So some of the solutions that sort of stood out to me as I went around was the Smart Face Biometric solution. So this is a solution provided with an integration from Innovatrix, which is a EU-based biometrics provider. So all of their solutions are designed to be compliant with GDPR, which is very helpful. And it's a solution which can do either facial recognition or palm recognition or a combination of both in conjunction with other security identification features. So it worked very simply, and it has some clever features such as it records images and it will build up a database of images, so it copes with things like aging. So if you happen to work at the same organization over a long period of time and visit an office that you haven't visited for a long while, it can cope with the fact that you might have changed how you look or how you present yourself. So I thought that was really clever. And it also does all its processing through smart cameras at the edge, which means that images of people who are not inside the company databases never make their way into those databases, so they're always discarded, and so there's no GDPR issue there. So that was really interesting to see. Something else that is going to really solve a lot of problems in an area that we see a lot of issues with in our research is the issue of printer driver management. So the new printer provisioning tool is really going to ease that issue for a lot of print managers, and it involves a centralized packaging up of drivers and print queues, and they can be delivered to users. And so the users will simply, wherever they travel, see the printers that they can print to at that moment. So that's going to save an awful lot of shoe leather and an awful lot of calls to support when people move through different offices, and they'll just find that they can print seamlessly and easily. So that was another demo that I thought was quite impressive.
Yeah, so in terms of that biometric security integration, because that sounds really interesting, and I don't think I've seen that before in the market. Is that something that's quite unique to MyQ? Because I think that sort of biometric security capabilities, we see there's still quite a low uptake of just general multi-factor authentication. So it sounds like MyQ are a bit ahead of the game there.
It does, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that some of their competitors will let us know if they have solutions that offer the same thing, but certainly it's something I hadn't seen before, and it was really interesting talking to their partner about that. Scanning's another thing that we see a lot of interest in at the moment, and they've got new solutions for scanning management. And I chatted to their partner Scanovision, who was telling me about how they can do form recognition through their solution and share scans with solutions such as SharePoint, so acting as very much an on-ramp into workflows, which are going to really help people sort of do their work quicker and easier and also more securely, so people aren't sending scans off to places they shouldn't do. So they certainly had features on demonstration that you could see are real useful immediately.
Yeah, and I think, as you say, we're seeing that scan volumes are increasing and almost working to offset that decline in print volumes that we're seeing across the print industry. And I know MyQ has always been quite strong in terms of the capture capability. So it sounds like that they've got not only their own sort of capabilities, but they're also working with partners on that side of things as well. And it seems to be another way of helping reduce that complexity and admin for their IT administrators and those customers, would you say?
Definitely, yeah. And so in the evening, we had a large presentation from lots of the product managers and leaders within the organisation, and a focus on customer satisfaction really did shine through everything. There was customer case studies presented with the customers actually attending, and that's always a sign that customers are happy with the solution if they're happy to stand up in front of sort of 300 or 400 people and talk about it. And so I think they were talking about engineers that had motorbiked from the UK to Belgium to solve a problem, and really sort of nice anecdotes, but that all underpin that the customer service focus is something that's really strong for them. It made for a nice atmosphere, really, because it was generally very positive. And it was good to hear the product managers talking about their products. So I've just mentioned a couple of the solutions that were on offer there, but really they've been very busy. So there are lots of new features coming in, both MyQX and MyQ Roger, support for new vendors, and generally in all the areas, or lots of the areas where you'd expect them to be working on, they are definitely working hard to deliver.
I attended the MyQ partner event a couple of years ago, and that MyQ really do put on a great show. And like you say, they help their customers and partners, and it really shows the commitment of MyQ to that community. In terms of some of the new things, because I remember them talking about them a couple of years ago. So the print sharing app, I believe, is now released. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. So the idea of the print sharing app is for organisations that want to offer pay for print on site. So in areas such as hotel receptions, people can just walk up to a device, scan a QR code, and pay for their print. So there's integrations coming with Stripe, which will bring on 100 plus payment providers. And we got to try it out at the event. So it was very straightforward and simple. I was able to print a picture I'd taken earlier of the MyQ office turtle, Julik, in his new home. So that was quite fun to have a go at, to see how simple it was. And then, of course, there was the sort of announcement of the roadmap for the next step of MyQ's journey, which is MyQ neXt. So we heard that we're expecting to see that come in initially in spring 2026, and then a full feature product is slated for by the end of the year. And this is the idea of this is to bring together all the features everybody wants from MyQ Roger in MyQX and vice versa, and create one product that really is as full featured as possible. So it'll be exciting to see how that comes into the market, and so partners seem to be very positive about it.
Yeah, and I think we've always seen in the market that there's sometimes a lack of parity between features of the on-premise products in general and cloud products. And I think it sounds like MyQ neXt is a way to combine those two platforms together. So look forward to covering that in more detail. I believe we'll be sharing an article in more detail to cover some of these aspects. So anything that you would want to really sum up in terms of the events? I know obviously it was a very glitzy event. So any other kind of thoughts or anything you want to share in terms of takeaways?
I just think the atmosphere really was really positive, really strong, the customer focus and the general enthusiasm for everybody involved. I mean, you do expect people to be on their game when they're presenting at these events, but chatting to product manager afterwards and, hearing about her nerves, but that she was sort of pushing through and felt supported in the environment to do it. It was a nice insight into company culture, as well as obviously a chance to get dressed up and see some exciting entertainment and generally enjoy yourself. So I think it was an excellent event, and they've definitely, they're setting a standard that they'll be no doubt trying to exceed the next time round. So we look forward to see what they do next.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Helen. It's been, it's really great to sort of understand a bit more context around what MyQ's doing. And as I say, we'll be providing some more details in a follow-up article to this podcast. But hopefully that's provided the audience a bit of insight into the MyQ event. And we'll put a link to any information in the show notes for this.